Hey everyone, it's Olivia Gamber here, founder of Career Evolved, and I'm here with my rockstar client, Jeff Allen. He is a small business owner and he helps Amazon product listings businesses who are selling on Amazon to optimize their product listings. And when I met Jeff, he wanted to expand his business and he knew that he had mindset blocks, self-limiting beliefs that were blocking him from getting to the next level. So that's when he reached out to me here on LinkedIn, and here we are now to tell the story. So, Jeff, thank you so much for being here
You
today. And
bet.
I guess I just want to dive right in. Can you think back to when you first reached out to me and you were thinking about your mindset and where you were at? How did you know you really needed to go through that? You seem to be very self aware. How did you know you needed that transformation?
Uh, well, my business was pretty successful before, and I knew I wanted to expand and help more and more brands on Amazon optimize their listings and that type of thing. But I also had doubts about, am I really this good? What should I do next? But I also understood that my self talk was, God, what if people really don't like you? What if you're really not as good as you say? What if you failed? What if people judge you? And I'm like, none of this is helping me. It's stopping me from doing what I know I could be doing. And that's when one of your videos popped up on LinkedIn, and I liked what you had to say. And I'm like, I can't read my way out of this. I need help from somebody that knows what I'm going through and how to help me.
I know. And what's really cool about that is you were so aware of that self talk. There's so many professionals, business owners, CEOs, whoever at your level that they try to disassociate from, no, my mindset's fine. My mindset's fine. And what I love about you and why I think that you've honestly had such a massive transformation in just a couple months is that you're so willing to own it all. And so I guess as you think about that journey, I mean, you've had a longer journey than even when you and I met, but what has been the most challenging part of that transforming your mind to really break into your full potential?
The First of all, accepting that the voice or whatever that was talking to me was lying to me about all of these things, and being able to look at yourself and look at what you're doing and what you're not doing and saying, okay, I have these beliefs. I don't know where they came from, but they're stopping me from doing what I want to do. And that is very hard to look at yourself, evaluate yourself objectively, and say, okay, this is not helping me. This thought process is helping me. That it's gotten me from zero to where I am right now, but now I'm still like I hit a brick wall, and the brick wall is my limiting beliefs. But recognizing that and challenging that and be willing to do something about it is very difficult. And I know other business owners that like, what if? And I knew I had to stop asking myself the negative what ifs and start asking myself, what are the positive what ifs? What if I don't do this, as opposed to what if I do this and it fails?
I think what's really interesting about that is it's easier to blame your clients, blame the landscape, blame everything outside of you because it keeps you from taking that ownership. And especially as a business owner, it's like there's nowhere to hide, right? And even if you're a corporate leader or a executive, but it's easier to blame outside of you. So I think that the reason you broke through, and I just saw it week after week, you were breaking through massively with your behavior, how you sounded, where you were elevating, because you literally owned it all, even the part you took ownership for everything in your life. And that's a rare identity to take that type of extreme radical ownership and responsibility. I just want to commend you for that,
Well,
because
thanks.
you are the dream client in that sense, that you were willing to own it all, because it's not easy to own the parts of you that you're not so proud of, right? Or the decisions that maybe you're not so proud of, or the self-sabotage behavior, right?
Yeah. And yeah, accepting that I couldn't do this on my own was a big thing for me. And just getting out of my comfort zone was huge. And it's not easy to do, but it can be done. And I think you and I working together have proven that, because like you said, I already went through the blame. If I presented my services to a brand and the service turned me down, it was pretty easy for me to say, well, hell with them, it's their loss. But you know, it, I that maybe I couldn't have helped them was never a thought that came into my head. It was, it's their fault.
Yep.
Now I never think about that. If some part of my business I get rejected on something that I've taken a risk and put myself out there, it's now I look back and say to myself, okay, they said no for a reason. Let's look at that. Let's look at why they may have said no. And let's look at those individual pieces and say to myself, okay, what do I need to work on in order to improve that part of why they may have said no? Whether it's they wanted something that I don't know how to do, well, let's learn how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't like my process. Well, let's look at your process, evaluate your process, and readjust your process for the next potential client. But that's really hard. It's easy just to say, heck with them.
Yep.
It's much harder to look back in the mirror and say, yeah, there's some areas of improvement that you need to do.
I love it. That's awesome. So as you think of all the, I guess, mindset shifts that you've made, which one are you most proud of?
The one that I am most proud of is when working with you, you had me go through a process of looking at things that I say to myself, essentially, that when I write them all down and I look at each one of them, I can say this thing and go, heck yes, oh yeah, there's no question that's me. And the next thing, well, I'm kind of that way, but I'm not completely that way. Yeah, this one for sure, that's me. And then some of them would go, I want to say it's me, but I'm not exactly sure it's me. Why do I not think that thing that I wrote down is true about myself? And going back and re-examining why I don't feel that gut feeling of absolutely that's me. And doing that is a process, and it's not
Mhm.
something that you do one time. It's not something that you do, once a week. You do it almost daily. And so now it's become a process of reading over the things I say, how I say it to myself. And if I don't have that visceral gut feeling of, yeah, this is really me, why? And challenging myself to overcome that feeling of, yeah, I'm not really that person, or I don't really have those tendencies.
This is awesome, because I what we were doing is essentially intentionally building your identity through your beliefs, and beliefs and habits are really the foundation of identity. And so when I say this quote, and it's out there for some people, but for me it's so true. It's the universe rewards who you are, not what you want. And as I've seen you step into your identity, you've become magnetic. And I see, just think the gateway starting to open up in your business. So I'd love to hear, how has this impacted your life, your business? What are some of the biggest wins you want to celebrate?
Well, the first thing is challenging myself about my belief system has made me more confident. I was pretty confident before,
You
But
were.
now it has really helped me have more confidence in a lot of areas. My business has exploded, I guess, is
Yes.
the best way to look at it. And the reason why it's exploded is I've put the work in to
Oh,
what
yeah.
you and I have talked about. If anybody thinks that they're going to jump into something like this and it's a one-time thing, and oh, after I'm done with Olivia, everything will be great. It doesn't work that way. It's an ongoing process, and it takes work and it takes continual effort, but it also takes discipline in a process. And the process is what you ask people to do needs to be done every day.
Oh, yeah.
And
Seven
when
days a
I
week.
say every day, I don't mean every day. I mean, no, every day.
And your
So now
diligence,
I take a
you're
ton more
diligent.
risks.
You don't
Oh,
skip
very
days
diligent.
ever. And you already had
Yeah.
great, I think that's something I just want to highlight. You already had great rituals in place, and we were able to stack on top of those. That's why you broke through in just a couple months. For some people, it could take 3 to 6 months to see the breakthroughs that you've seen, but you had you were able to turn weeks into decades because of how deep and how much you prioritized your transformation, which, let's face it, most business owners aren't going to prioritize that because they're so stuck in that hamster wheel, of spinning 10 plates. So I just want to commend you for prioritizing that, because it takes a visionary sense of awareness to see how that directly impacted your business.
Well, and the other thing I would have to say is I am much more willing to take risks that even a few months ago I would not have taken for fear of failure or fear of ridicule. And now I take a lot more risks. And you know what? Maybe 99 out of those risks don't pan out, but one does. That's one that I wouldn't have had if I wouldn't have taken that risk. And you know what? I'll take one out of 100 every time.
I love it. That is awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your story, and any parting words you want to leave for anybody who's kind of feeling stuck mentally, emotionally, physically.
Yes, challenge yourself, challenge your beliefs, challenge everything you know. I've run into so many people that say, I know this, I know this, I know this, I've known it forever. That when you really examine it, they don't know it. They
Hmm.
didn't know it. And they will never know it unless they challenge themselves to their existing belief system. Gotta take the step, gotta take the risk, you gotta put yourself out there, and then you gotta do the work.
Listen to everything he says. This man is a rocket ship on the way to the next level of orbit. Congrats, Jeff. Thank you for sharing. And I'm
Thank
so,
you.
so excited for you.
Okay. Thanks, Olivia.